Okay, so my mama and Just Call Me Why got me into this show. I was trying to stay away from it because I only review reality TV shows that I feel are highly produced and fake. You know what I mean? I don't want to be commenting on like people's real lives. However, Lita and Eric, or Lita and Eric, however you say that girl name, we gotta talk. That chick enrages me. Oh, and Kalani and Asuelu. Listen, I have never had such a visceral reaction from a show before in a very long time. This cast pisses me all the way off. Let's discuss. So let's start with Ashley and Jay. I know this happened in the past episode, but when he said that he lost his virginity at 9, I was like, that's not something to be proud of. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, why are you telling us this? Like, it's a good thing. Like, it's a check, on your board of masculinity. It was really uncomfortable to hear that. And I was like, I'm not thinking that's attractive. I'm thinking that somebody should have called DHS. You know what I mean? Like, that was really disturbing. And I'm glad that I waited to review this show because I was able to understand Jay a bit more. I did not like him in the beginning, but what I realized is that not only is he such a young guy, he's a young guy being thrown into a very difficult way of living. Like, out of nowhere, not only is he living with a white woman, he's living with a white woman in the United States during a very tumultuous time. And I was able to see him grow a bit, but I was also able to see so much fear in him that I was able to start liking him, because I didn't at first. I was just like, oh, he is scamming you, Ashley. I'm gonna walk away from that. But when I was watching it in the beginning, I was not Team Jay. I was Team Ashley, and I've become a bit more Team Jay. But now I'm like Team Jay and Ashley because I follow them on Instagram as well, because I had to know. I had to know if this couple was like the real deal. And I'm starting to believe that they're the real deal. Now, I do believe that the both of them are in it for ulterior motives, but I do think that there is something real within this relationship. It may just be the sex, okay? Because Jay wants it morning, noon, and night, and Ashley is just like, I can't do it. See, this is what happens, ladies. Don't marry somebody younger than you if you can't keep up, okay? Because our sex drive dies down. Men, till they 90, they still want to knock boots. So you got to get somebody who is at your level. Jay ain't there yet. And also, he is a black man, honey, you better be ready to, I'm not even going to say it, but I'm just going to let you know, he going to take them pasty cakes down daily. You better be ready, girl. Also, speaking of fakeness, like I said, this reality show to me, I feel like a lot of it is real. I do also feel like there are opportunistic players on this show. And Natalie is one of them. And this is why I don't fully believe Ashley and Jay's love story, because Natalie is so produced. First of all, she's knocking on the door. It's not even real. Like, she's not an actor, so I can't even believe her like knocking on the door being that upset. I can't even believe Ashley like yanking open the door and walking out there. First of all, neither one of them could keep it together. Like, they were both like breaking a smile. Like, it looks like as soon as the producer called cut, they started laughing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they just weren't really into it. It did not seem real at all. It seemed very produced. And I also don't believe that they're having these kind of friend issues, or she's out of the wedding, we're not friends, because their wedding photos was released. Like, I don't know who did it, but I saw like their wedding photos, and Natalie was like the maid of honor. So I don't believe any of this stuff happening with Natalie and Ashley right now. None of it is believable. None of it makes sense to the story. And I'm just like, even Jay came out. He couldn't even be bothered with it. Like, he couldn't even keep up with the scene. Like, he was already done with the scene by the time he walked out. And they kind of should have left this out, because this to me started making me think that this relationship was a little bit suspect. More than I already thought. But I was starting to believe them a bit. And then this happened, and I'm just like, we scamming too? Secure the bag. Natalie makes this comment about Jay and Jamaican people in general. As soon as they start walking and talking, they start scheming their plan to like get over here to the United States. My stepfather is Jamaican. I've been there several times. Beautiful place, beautiful people. Let me tell you this. Ain't nobody trying to come over here to America. Jamaicans love Jamaica and are not trying to leave. My stepfather and his family who live here only a few of them live here solely to build their business and send money back home. Every chance they get, they are on a plane to Jamaica because they miss it that much. Who in the hell wants to leave that beautiful land with those beautiful people and that delicious food? Are you kidding me? I know Jamaican people who are struggling in America based solely off of seasonings. Okay, so this whole all those Jamaicans try to scam American women or American people to get over here. And Natalie, you think way too highly of your land. No shade, you know what I mean? You should think high of your home, but get off your high horse, honey. Jamaicans are not trying to scam to get here. Now, let me be clear. I said Jamaicans. I ain't say Jay. Can we talk about how when Natalie got on that moped? One thing I noticed from watching this show, the producers are shady. They are Bravo TV level shady because no shade, Natalie, you were twice the size of that bike. And when she got on that moped and it looked like it wasn't going to start and she like slowly sped away, I hollered. I was like, oh girl. That's another reason why I didn't believe this scene was real, because the way she just, paddled without flip-flops and then hopped on a bike. I was like, ain't no way you coming to confront somebody who has been dragging your name through the mud. Natalie knocked on that door like she was ready to throw her hands. Who in the hell is going to show up on a moped? I'd rather walk than have somebody see me knowing I'm a good 3 sizes bigger than this damn bike, jump on a bike after the fight. I'm still thinking about it. I already talked about this, but I'll say it again. Actually, you better take some vitamins, okay? You better take some vitamins and do what you got to do to keep you juicy and loosey-goosey, okay? Because listen, he's 20. Are you kidding me? Have you been to college? Girl, at that age, sis, you got to stay ready. How did you not think that this was going to be an issue? You talked about how he was having sex 3 times a day. And that was just because y'all hadn't seen each other in a while. Y'all live together now. Like, now that he has access to the vagina, you know what? Girl, just stay ready. That's it. Just stay ready. Oh, Steven and Olga, my God, today. That young man pisses me all the way off. I know that he has since apologized and him and Olga are working on it. I'm hoping that Olga is just trying to secure her visa, and as soon as she get legal, she out of here. Like, she not dealing with Steven, because the way he deals with her, I'm like, somebody needs to tell her that this is an abusive relationship. This is not love. Steven, I'm not saying that he's not capable of showing her love or giving her love. He is not at that level yet in his growth, in his journey. He needs help. And the child is not going to cure that. He has a lot of issues, and Olga is taking on a lot. I know she probably thought that, having a baby with an American was a good idea, but honey, y'all got to do y'all research. Let me tell y'all something. Shout out to the people who are trying to get over to the U.S. by way of, marriage or whatever. You know what I mean? Listen, secure the bag any way you can. I'm not going to hate on how you get here. What I will say is this. 99.9% of Americans are dead broke, okay? It's the 1% that got all that money that you see on TV, right? A lot of us ain't got it. Here we are witnessing a bunch of people who thought that they snagged a big fish because they're American and they're white. No, you didn't. You really, y'all gotta look at more. Let me help you. If you're looking for an American who you think has money to help you get over here so that you can become an American citizen, first thing you have to check their skin. If they are telling you that they are 40 and they look a good 75, that is an American you need to move on from. If not, you will end up like Leida. You know what I mean? Like, No tea, no shade, but any American woman could have looked at Eric and been like, he been through some things. I'm going to keep it moving. Leida ain't know that. You know what I mean? She thinks she got a prize. I got an American white man. I don't know why I gave her that accent. I'm not even going to try to do it. Because sometimes she sounds British when she says daughter. That's what she sounds like. But I ain't even getting on her yet. Let me just get back on track with Stephen and Olga. I'll get to Leida and Eric later. After Stephen berates Olga, who is recovering from a C-section scar, and tells her that he's angry at her, that her body is ripped open and she's healing from that, and she's also nursing his son, but she's not giving him enough attention. After he puts her through all of that, then he puts her through, oh, I'm going to get our son a passport and American citizenship and steal him. Like this whole episode, he is playing with her mind, like manipulating her. And I'm telling you, he's doing it because he is being abusive to her. He is getting a kick out of mistreating her. That is his thing. That is how, sad to say it, Stephen, that's how abusers work. They get like a rise out of having somebody who they can lord over and make feel less than. And he, sad to say, gets a kick out of making her feel less than, because he does things to poke at her. Olga could breathe and he will just start yelling at her and telling her how what she is doing is hurting him and harming the baby. And if she doesn't stop it, he's going to take her kid. He's going to take her child that is still nursing. Let's back up and talk about when Olga was asking him not to touch her, not to touch their son without cleaning his hands. When a child first comes into this world, they are very sensitive. Everybody knows that. I mean, I know that now as a grown woman. I'm guessing Stephen didn't know that. He's a kid. I get it. He would not know that, right? But if the woman who gave life to your child is telling you, hey, maybe you should wash your hands before you put your freaking outside hands on our child's face, maybe you will listen. Because he didn't listen, the kid ended up getting a damn rash and he blamed Olga for that. I was just like, oh, you need some sisters. You need, where are your parents? Where are Olga's parents? We really didn't get her backstory. We really didn't get Stephen's backstory. All we get is that they didn't come from good homes and that's it. Like, producers, you were a little lazy on this story because these two are very interesting and I'm actually very concerned for Olga. And I would like to have learned a little bit more about who is caring for them in their lives. I don't care what nobody say. Yes, you're 20 and you banging and you having kids and you doing grown things. You are still a kid. You still don't know what this world is like. It took me to a good 27 before I could figure out what the hell was going on. And even then, I was still learning, baby. So I'll give them that. But there is nobody that we have really met or talked about in Stephen or in Olga's life who is really caring for them. We get a little glimpse here and there of Stephen's grandparents and especially his grandmother, but it's not enough for us to really make some kind of educated decision about his welfare or Olga's welfare. Like nothing from her. We're going to meet a friend next week. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? We get nothing from their backstory. Everybody else, we pretty much know what's going on with them. But Stephen and Olga, nothing. Just two kids who was banging in Maryland and they got a baby. What? I also came into the show rooting for the Americans. I cannot believe that I am here rooting for all of the people trying to get a visa. I'm like, listen, get your American citizenship, secure the bag, and get the hell away from these American psychos. Y'all do not deserve this, except for Leida. She deserves all of it. All this work she getting, she deserves it. But everybody else, I'm like, hell to the no. When I first started watching this, I was like, oh my goodness, Stephen is getting scammed. This is not his baby. He don't know enough to get a paternity test. Now I'm just like, Olga, get you and your baby here, get legit, and get the hell away from this man. I'm rooting for all the immigrants, except for Leida. So Stephen keeps her son for 3 hours, doesn't even contact her, doesn't even tell her what he's really going to do. Then he comes back to her, she's crying, and the first thing he says to her is, feed him, feed him. I'm like, dude. And I'm not even like disgusted with Stephen like I am with some other cast members. I just feel bad because two very broken people came together and created a life, and now they are attached to each other for the rest of their lives, you know? And it's unfortunate because I don't think that either of them would have chosen to spend this part of their lives together. You know what I mean? I don't think either one of them would have chosen each other to be a parent to their child. Although Steven, listen, this is the best you gonna get. You better, oh my goodness, if he turns his life around and he really gets the help he needs, he better treat this woman like a queen. Because I don't see anything wrong with Olga. I don't see any red flags. I just think that, they were, being young and irresponsible and got pregnant, and she's just rising to the occasion. I think Steven believes that he's rising to the occasion of being a father, but he's not. And I think he's only being the best dad that he knows how to be, which isn't much. And I feel bad for the both of them, but he needs help. And I hope that he gets it soon, because although they look great on Instagram, what I'm seeing on this show, I'm like, you can't fix that overnight. That is years and years of like internal demons that this kid is dealing with. And I don't want to see him anymore take it out on Olga and her child, and his child, but I can't stomach it. I hate the way he treats her. That girl was crying because she had no idea what he was doing with her child. No idea. And he came back, act like he didn't even see her tears. It's like he had like this little smirk. I'm telling y'all, it's like he gets a kick out of making her feel bad. And that's really sad. And you know what? I don't want this to happen, but I feel like this needs to happen. I feel like Steven, because he wants to take his child to America, I feel like he should. Here's why. Because he's going to appreciate everything that Olga does. He really thinks that he can take a newborn child away from its mother while it's still nursing and raise it all on his own. He doesn't know anything about this baby. Olga is figuring it out, but at least she's ready to learn and just taking every bit of information or helpful information that she's getting, and the girl is taking it because she loves her kid and she wants to, have a healthy child and do well by it. Steven loves his son, but he loves his son for selfish reasons. I don't think he has yet connected to his child in a way that Olga has. And I'm not saying it's because men love their kids differently. No, I don't believe in none of that. As a parent, you love your child, period. He loves his child. I don't think he has the maturity yet or has dealt with the issues that he has to fully love his kid the way he needs to. He's loving his child because his thing is, I'm going to do better to you than my dad did to me, or I'm going to be the father that my father couldn't be to me. So I want to do all this stuff. I want to take you to the park. I want to take pictures with you. I want to play baseball with you. I want to do like all of these like superficial things, but not the real important things. Like he doesn't know that yet. What's really important is that you don't yell at your child's mother while she's nursing him, because the child is crying and you don't care. What's really important is that you don't rip your child away from his source of, life, which is his mother. Like he doesn't get that yet. And it's so sad because I feel like this child just grew Olga up so much. And I feel like with Steven, it like decreased him in so many ways, because before the child was born, I was like, oh my goodness, this kid is very mature. He had to grow up really fast. He's trying his best. I wish the best for him, and I still do. But when his child was born, I felt like from what I saw in the beginning episode, Steven did like a 180, and a scary 180, and I do not like it. And I really feel bad for Olga. Like I was yelling at my TV screen, like, Olga, this is not love, honey. This isn't love. You don't need your child to be in that situation. So many women do this, like, oh, I don't want to rip my child away from his father. If the father is abusive, get the hell out of there. And hopefully they're on 90 Days Happily Ever After, 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, or after the 90 days, whatever that show is, because I need to see some growth, because I'm very uneasy about this relationship. Speaking of being uneasy, Kalani and Asuelu, that whole family, that whole Samoan American family is so problematic. Let me tell you some producers of this TV show, y'all need to have another Samoan family on this show. You have to correct this representation. They are doing the absolute worst for the Samoan community. First of all, the dad is talking about he don't want her child to marry a Samoan because Samoan men are ignorant. They're island boys. They don't know nothing. They're bad people. Like all of this stuff he was saying. I I'm not Samoan. I was offended. I felt so bad. I was like, how dare you talk about the Rocks family like that? I was pissed, y'all. I was so pissed, and I couldn't believe that everybody in the family went with it. Kalani, oh, I used to date white guys, and my father wants me with a white guy. And the dad, I want him with a white guy. I'm like, oh my gosh, what the hell is going on? And I seen the sister, who is actually another reason why I started to get involved in this show, Kalani and Kalani. Y'all want to be white so bad. Y'all ghetto. Anyway, y'all ghetto whites. The mama too. I'm like, this is a surprise. Anyway, she was like fighting people on Instagram about this. Like, oh no, my dad just want us to be with good men, good white men. And I'm like, girl, you are not helping the argument. Anyway, I feel so bad for Asuelu. Asuelu to me is the male version of Olga. I think he's in an abusive relationship, but he's in an abusive relationship with an entire family. This family treats him horribly. And it pisses me off because nobody in this family deals with the fact that Kalani is a liar. She has been lying this entire time. So they're all mad. First of all, they're mad at her because she married somebody because she got pregnant by somebody who wasn't white, and she's about to marry a non-white guy, and she's also about to marry Samoan, so that's a double hate. They're also mad at Asuelu because they feel like, you know, he basically took advantage of Kalani. And when you hear Asuelu tell it, Kalani was ripping his boy shorts off every time. Them medium boy shorts. Asuelu, baby, you got to find your right size. His shorts are always just tight, like in that behind. But when you hear him tell a story, Kalani is always jumping on him. He's always like, just get that. I don't want to do it. Hold it. You know what I mean? He's probably the one being taken advantage of sexually. I had to get that out. That family bothered me. I just feel bad for him. I'm always like, Asuelu deserves better because he got mixed up in Kalani's lies. Now he is like strapped to this self-hating family with two kids. Can we talk about that? Kalani is pregnant again. And guess whose fault it is? Asuelu. The dude whose penis she can't stay off of. And Asuelu doesn't like to use condoms because they're for slut people. First of all, when Asuelu said that, I didn't take it as something being offensive to slut people. Not saying I'm a slut, but for the right dude. Anyway, what I think he was trying to say is that from his understanding, condoms are used for people who want to have a lot of sex and don't want to procreate. I think in his mind, he's thinking that when you have sex, from where he's from, you have sex because you love the person, but you also want to create life. And so I don't want to put a condom on because I love you. I'm safe with my seed going inside of you, and I want to create a child with you. So that's why he thinks that, right? But Kalani, if you have the proper understanding, especially for your situation, why don't you tell him to put it on? You cuss him out and beat him up any other time. You can't beat him up before it's time for your sexy time. Like, how is it Asuelu's fault that you got pregnant? The both of you are responsible. You know good and well. And let's talk about this virgin talk. The way Kalani lies, I don't believe that she was a virgin when she met Asuelu. I think what happened was Kalani went to the motherland, okay? And she was hoeing it up all over that damn island. Her family wasn't there because it seems like the family is very protective, very religious. And she got away from that, and she was able to just, have a little hoe season in the motherland. And I think that's exactly what happened. But because she comes from such a religious background, and I can only speak on that because of how I grew up. I came from a very, not strict, but my family is very religious, right? We're a little lax now because, listen, some of them laws I can't go by. Anyway, what happened was she finally got away from that. But we don't get the proper teaching because you're encouraged to only have sex in marriage. So you really don't know. You know about certain things, but you don't know about everything because you're not sexually active. So I think what happened was she went to this island and was hoeing it up and got caught. Got caught the mess that she was doing over there follow her home in the form of a child. And I also think, because I'm still waiting for that baby to look like Asuelu, okay? I'm still waiting. That could be his child. But from what I have watched, I feel like she probably got pregnant by somebody. You know what? Let me not do this conspiracy theory. You know what? It's my channel. Let's do it. I think she got pregnant by somebody who was probably, married or was just like, or some thug that she couldn't bring home. But she got this gullible boy from the country who would do anything and go along with any story. So she probably went to him because she was one of the dudes that she banged and was like, listen, I'm pregnant. One of the dudes that would go along with it. I'm not saying that Asuelu is in on the scam. I think that he knows, I think that he believes that this is his child. But from the way Kalani has been lying, I think that baby is somebody else's, but she was able to, pull Asuelu into this because he's very gullible. He's very naive. He ain't never dealt with an American heifer before. He felt like he done got this prize and he done got this scamming heifer who got him wrapped up in a self-hating family. But anyway, this second one is his. I think this second one is his. From the way he talks about how she just can't wait to, go to the motherland with him. This second one is his. Definitely his. And probably the first one. Like I'm saying, I could be wrong. But just from the way Kalani is lying, I don't believe anything that she says. None of it. Since we're here, let's talk about how Kalani never takes responsibility for anything and her family encourages it. Like she never takes responsibility. Her mother, she's sitting there crying in the park to her mom. Mind you, this is a 30-something-year-old woman. 30-something years old, because at the time they keep on saying she's 30-something or 30 years old. Yeah, she's 30, but she got to be in her 30s at this point from the time of filming. And I'm just like, you are sitting here at the park crying to your mom that you're pregnant, like you're freaking 16 years old. At 30, yes, we're going to have a celebration. We want you to start popping out these kids because it's going to get a little harder later in life. So she's sitting there crying. And, Asuelu doesn't want to use condoms. And her mom is just like, I'm hoping that Asuelu didn't get her pregnant so he can stay in America. Why the hell would he want to stay with you guys? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that Asuelu has it in him to even think that far out. I'm not saying that he's dumb. I just think that he's very naive. I think he's a very naive person. And I don't think that he had that intention. Because the abuse that he is dealing with, I know several times probably throughout the filming of this show, he wanted to go home and the producers probably kept him here for some reason. The producers probably, encouraged him to stay or whatever because they got to give us a show. You know what I mean? But I'm thinking that he wanted to leave a few times because when she was in that car cussing him out, I was like, oh my gosh. Kalani, shut up, because I feel like Asuelu is about to punch you in the back of your head, sis. Like, when he got quiet, I was like, you need to get quiet. Maybe you haven't been in a relationship before with a man that talks back, but I feel like you pushed this one too far. I'm so glad that he just shut down and walked away like a good person instead of went off on her like she went off on him. He's a good guy and I don't think he deserves it. And I just don't like that the family blames him for everything, because it seems like even next week, Kalani Ghetto is going to blame Asuelu because he got Kalani pregnant. I'm just like, I also don't like this narrative where it's like he's having sex with her to like pin her down or keep her in a situation, like he's forcing himself on her. You know what I mean? Like they're giving this narrative and I don't like it. I do not like it. Kalani voluntarily opened up her uterus to Asuelu, and like a good old boy, he went in there and had a good old time. Okay? Even times that he didn't want to. Even times that he was pissed off, Kalani was still jumping down on him. Like, no, she has to grow up 30 with 2 kids. And you still acting like something is up. Something is up with all of these families. Something is not right here. They keep her so like protected. in an odd way, like something is off with her or some secret is being held. Who got the tea? Because there is something going on with her that is not quite right. The way that family nurtures her like she is a child is unsettling. Leida and Eric. Horrible. Terrible. I don't know if this is what you guys are doing for the show, because there are another couple that I think is hamming it up. I think that Asuelu and Kalani are the real deal. I think that Jonathan and Fernanda are the real deal. Eric and Leida and Ashley and Jay, am I forgetting a couple? I probably am. But I think that those two couples are in it for the cameras. I think that Ashley and Jay is a bit more real than Eric and Leida, but Eric and Leida, they are in it for the cameras and for the fame. They remind me of, what is his name? Jesse and Darcy. They remind me of those two. Although I think that Darcy was really more into Jesse than Jesse was into her. I don't think he was ever into her. I think he was in it for the opportunity. That's how I feel like Leida is. I feel like she found an American dude to get her hair so she can pursue two things: her doctor's career or becoming a doctor, but I don't think that's what she really wants to do. I think she said that to her parents to allow them to be okay with her getting over here, but I think that Leida really wants to be a reality TV star. I'm thinking that she feels like she can become a Kardashian over here. Because here is why. It is very hard to become a celebrity in America, like a legitimate celebrity. You have to have immense talent and money, right? Which is why it's taken me this long, but I'm on the up and up, okay? What you can aspire to if you don't have the talents in America is to be a reality TV star. The Kardashians have changed the game, okay? There are so many people now looking to them, trying to get famous. And for a lot of people who have followed their formula, it's working. And I think that that is what Leida is trying to do. I think her ultimate goal is to become a reality TV star, because every time on any kind of, she's talking to the blogs, she's crying on social media. Her and Eric put up a video that was like, listen, if they are getting death threats, that's a terrible thing, and I do not encourage it. I just don't believe it. I just do not believe it. I think if anything, there are people who are saying unkind things to her because of the behavior she's showing on the show. And listen, y'all can talk about editing as much as you want, Leida and Eric. The producers can only edit what you give them. That whole scene with you throwing out Eric's child, cussing at Natasha, screaming at him for paying his child support, talking about get your kid out of my place so I could bring my child in. My son needs a room. Half of that is her apartment. Who do you think you are? Like, that whole scene, guys, I was watching it with my mom. We were like ready to rumble. You know what I mean? We was like, where's Natasha at? We're going to ride up there. We're going to ride up to that apartment right now. And we're going to let Leida know this is not how we do over here. I was so pissed off from that. The fact that that girl was crying as she walked to her car because her father sided with a woman he does not know over his own seed. I felt so bad for her. And if you follow her on Instagram, I don't, but somebody shared some tea and it came up in my news feed where she went on live and she said that that was her apartment. She allowed her dad to move out after her roommates moved out, and she was actually helping her father because he had went through some things. He had some issues. And by issues, I'm thinking meth, okay? But she didn't say, and I think that that shows how much she loves her father. Dare I say that she loves him more than he loves her? Because she never really threw him under the bus. She was just telling the truth of her situation, but she still was speaking with such love and respect for her father. And I just felt so bad because I hadn't seen him give that to her. He's lied on her the whole time. Like when Leida went into that apartment, he was like, oh, it's Tasha. Tasha did this, Tasha did that. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, Eric, that's you. Tasha may be dirty, but dog, you filthy. You are filthy. Ain't no way you keep a clean house. First of all, from the way that apartment complex looked, I already see Leida not hip to the game. That was American poverty, baby. From the looks of Eric, he looked like he done been through some things. Okay. So Leida, you came over here scamming and you then got scammed. So all that crying or whatever they're doing on Instagram, well, keep it. You guys were terrible. We are mad the viewers are mad at you because of how you treated Natasha. She did not deserve that. First of all, you're coming in as a future stepmom, speaking to your 19-year-old stepdaughter, who, oh my goodness, She gave her so much respect, Natasha, that Leida didn't deserve. Oh, I got a problem with you. Oh, this place is disgusting. Then goes in her room and starts going through herself, packing it up. Child, listen. Shout out to Natasha and her mother. They handled Leida so much better than I ever would. I couldn't believe it. I was enraged. Shout out to Leida because she is the reason why I'm here. She is the reason why I'm here. I was just watching this show. I wasn't going to do it because I love Waz reviews. But I had to say something about this woman. I could not sit there and not, like, everybody's being too kind to this girl. Her and Eric are awful. I'm sorry. You guys, what you displayed on national TV, Eric, your child, how could you do her like that? How? Leida is sitting over there saying, well, I don't care if they don't come to my wedding. And father of the year. So Eric's father, who looks healthier than his son. See, this is another thing. There's a backstory with Eric that we are not getting. We are not getting the full tea on these couples, and that is a problem because I think we're dealing with a very problematic cast, and we are not getting any backstory as to why they're so awful. Y'all just put a camera on their face and was just like, okay, let's film your lives. But I feel like as producers, you have to be careful of your cast as well, and I don't think that they were properly handled in the way in which the viewers could get a full scope of who they actually are. We just got some awful people on TV, and I'm wise enough to know that there's more to the story, even with Leida and Eric. But Eric's dad, everybody in his family is so kind to Leida and Eric, and they're just so awful, but everybody's being so kind to how terrible they're being. Like when Eric is talking to his dad about kicking out his daughter and choosing Leida over his choice. I had to make that decision. And his dad is like, well, you didn't. Well, I hope they work it out. I'm like, Dad, step in and tell your son what he's doing is wrong. This is not okay. Get your child back. You don't know this woman. You put your child out of her home to move in another woman and her child. Does he even know how that can make a child feel? To look at your father move you out and move another family in? Then Eric starts this crying. It was the right choice I had to make. It was a tough choice, but it was the right choice. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Being a father is the right choice. You created Natasha. You threw your creation out for some heifer with terrible eyebrows. Like, how dare you? How dare you? I'm so disgusted by this dude. Like, I can't believe it. And I feel like the tears that he's crying is guilt tears because he knows that what he did was wrong. But he's still going to choose this woman. You know what? Vagina is powerful. Let me tell you, I had no idea how powerful vagina was until I watched this couple. I literally watched a dude say, listen, to hell with my family. I'm taking this woman by any means necessary. So if I got to get rid of my kids, I'll get rid of my kids. You know what? This gives me ID channel. This is an ID channel couple. You know them couples where it's just like, child, would a father get rid of the kids to live a new life? What? They do it all the time. If they end up on the ID channel, this show got to be canceled, right? If this ends up the way it looks, this show got to be canceled. And then we get to Natasha's mother. Can I just say, ex-wife of the year? And I mean that. She has been so kind and loving to Leida, very inviting, even when she's heard things about her and her children from Eric that Leida has said. She's been so graceful. Where are these people from? Is everybody like this in Wisconsin? Like, are all the women like this in Wisconsin? Because, I mean, so much grace that I actually applaud her for it, but it wouldn't have been me. Oh, hell no. If my child would have came home crying to me about how her father's supposed new wife threw her out of her apartment and she came home to me crying, you kidding me? I'll be doing my interview from prison. From prison. Like, the mama bear comes out and she meets with Leida and she's so, even in her rage, she's so graceful. I learned a lot from that woman in that moment. Not saying that I will emulate it, but it's a lot of respect for her, because I would have wrapped Leida's eyebrows around my arm. Girl, we would have been, me and her would have been boxing in that lake. Like, what did you do to my child? Put the cameras down, because I'm going to jail, period. And then Leida said the most awful thing that she's ever said this season. I don't care if they don't come to my wedding. The only people that are important in this situation, the most important people, are Eric and my son. I don't care about them other ones. You mean his freaking children? The seed of his loins? Wow, you are the stepmother that Lifetime makes movies about. I can't believe that you are actually being openly awful and allowing it to be filmed. Honey, this is not the way. You know what? I was about to say this is not the way to get a reality TV show, to become a reality TV star, but you know what? There have been people, what's her name? Omarosa. She made it to the White House being a villain on reality TV. Trump made it to the presidency. So it could work. It could work. I take it back, Leida. If this is your angle, girl, may you fail. Guys, I have never in my life been so angry at a reality TV character before. Like, this lady, this woman pisses me off. And I'm not even upset because I've been in a situation like that. Like, my dad's new wife loves me. Maybe it's probably because she's seen me on TV. No, I ain't gonna put her out there like that, but she mentions the TV shows that I've done a lot. She ain't trying to mess up no future bags. Let me stop playing, because she watches this. I'm joking, but I'm not taking this on because I've been in this situation. I'm just so hurt. I'm so hurt for Natasha. I'm so hurt for Eric's kids. I don't know. I don't know. Because I feel like him and Leida are definitely scamming. I don't think his kids and his family are in on it. I think they're all on this ride with them, but not aware that they're trying to make it into something. And I don't think that Eric wants to be a reality TV star. I think he's fallen for someone who wants that, and he'll do what she wants and sacrifice everything for it. It's really sad. Let's move on to a couple I actually like and are the real deal. Jonathan and Fernanda. I really think that Fernanda is here for Jonathan. I don't think she's trying to scam to get anything, because I feel like Fernanda would do fine in Mexico. Like, you know what I mean? I think she would get a Jonathan or better. You know what I mean? She gives me cartel girlfriend. I could be wrong. But, you know, she does give me that. But I think that she would be fine in Mexico. I think she literally came here for him, and this episode shows that. Like, she sat through that dinner with his friends, treating her terribly, talking about build the walls, very respectful, did not, disrespect them in the way that she could have. And I was mad at Jonathan for that, because I was just like, why would you put your fiance in that kind of situation and not protect her? Like, he just sat there and watched his friends say terrible things. I was so upset with him in that situation. And Fernanda has never mentioned coming to America for better opportunities. Never. She's always talked about Jonathan. So I think that they're the real deal. And I feel bad for her, because I feel like she's been through a lot for him, and he still has yet to really take it in. He acknowledges it, but he doesn't really deal with the fact that this girl is in a foreign place. The guy that she came here for is gone a majority of the day working. She's by herself. She can't drive. She doesn't know anybody. His friends don't even rock with her. So she's just sitting in the house lonely, talking to her family who is far away, and then falling out into a ball of tears because she can't get, near them. Like, they're not very close. Like, I moved from Philadelphia to Los Angeles, and I'm telling you, a phone call from my mother would just send me in tears. I would just fall apart crying. And I was still in the same country. So could you imagine being so far away from your family in a country that your country that you come from is having beef with, so you can't just run there whenever you feel like it, and just sitting in the house waiting for him to come home? That would mess with your mind. So I do feel bad for her, and I do understand Jonathan, but I just don't think he's really taken in how much she has sacrificed. She's also 19. I'm like, dude, she is fun. She is playful. You have to do more stuff with her. If you're going to marry young, just like with Ashley, you have to realize where you were at that age, and you have to compensate in some areas. So Jonathan, you can't be at work all the darn time if she doesn't have anything to do. You got to keep her occupied. Put her in cosmetology school or something. Have her get a trainer license. Do something to keep her busy if you need to work all of those hours. If not, you need to be home with her, not just banging her, but spending time with her, loving on her, showing her the area, and really helping her get acclimated to this new community. Colt and Larissa. Another couple that I fully believe is scamming. I think they're in it together. I didn't think so at first, but after I follow Larissa, did I call her Larissa? I think I call her the right name. I follow Larissa on Instagram, and I had to quickly unfollow because she's a mess. Her Instagram is a mess, and Colt's Instagram is a mess. He is always on Instagram stories, like just, telling that he really loves her, he really cares, like putting all their business out there to a point where I just feel like it's forced. And I realize that he's probably doing that because they're now filming for 90 days after Happily Ever After, the next part of this show. And so I think that these two are in it. And I think that Colt probably wasn't in it in the beginning. I think that Larissa was probably the driving force, but Colt is loving the attention. Loving the attention that he's getting from his groupies and Larissa, and like he is just eating it up. So I feel like the whole family is in on it now. Even Miss Debbie, his mother, has turned against the cousin who she was going there telling him all the tea about them stirring the pot. Now she's turned against him and said that they're really not that close with him. They don't know why he's acting like that. They don't agree with what he's doing or what he said. They don't even spend time with him anymore. They basically cut him out of the family or stopped dealing with him because of how he dealt with Larissa. And I'm like, really? That quick? Your family who y'all were supposedly so close with, all of a sudden this guy who was seemingly protecting Colt, y'all done with him now? I think they're just trying to dig up storyline for next season for Happily Ever After. That's what I think is happening here. Let's talk about Colt's friends. I don't know how Colt in Vegas found people who are the exact same person as him. Like Colt's best friend and his wife are literally Colt. Literally Colt. The only thing that's different is the rainbow purse and that baby doll dress. I'm like, how old are these people? The bracelets, the baby doll dress, the rainbow purse, and the pigtails. But she got a man. Ciao. Larissa, she's cute enough to have really bagged something, but I think she bagged a fellow scammer. So that's why they're in on it. I don't believe this couple. I really, really don't. I believed them in the beginning, but now after seeing how they act on social media, they are really in it for the cameras and the opportunities. They are not in it for love. I don't believe it at all. I'm not convinced. I was convinced in the beginning, Colt, but you slipped up on Instagram. Now I see you for your works. In saying that, I think they are becoming a bit more enjoyable to watch because they're playing it up to the cameras. Like this scene where Larissa was complaining about how he doesn't compliment her enough. It was funny. It was funny. Just her face when he was complimenting her. She was like, oh. It was funny because they're playing it up. They're giving us what we want. I enjoyed that scene. I also enjoyed the scene with the waitress and Colt not like even answering her or getting water. It was funny. I think they're going to give us a good show now that they're on board with what this show could give them. I feel like they know what's good now. I feel like they know what they can get from it. So they're going to give us a good TV show. I mean, I hope they don't go as far as Jesse because he got to the point where he became annoying. I hope they don't become annoying and just stay fun and give us the comedy and some of the drama and not really get to a point where we get sick of them. Don't be a Jesse. Stay woke. So that was the episode. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it after I got over being angry and after I did a little bit of my own research and really found out what was happening here. I'm still not happy with what I found out concerning Steven and Olga. I'm still a bit concerned for her, but I am happy to know that some of the couples that I felt were in danger are faking it. You know what I mean? So I'm okay. Like I'm like, okay, well, you can give me all this drama just as long as I know ain't nobody being tortured except for Asuelu. I still feel like he needs to go back to Samoa and just be loved on by somebody who will really love and appreciate him, because he is being harassed by an entire family, and that's uncomfortable to watch. But it's still good TV. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you for the next episode, because I got to see what happens with Leida and Eric. I can't. I am dedicated to this show now, because I need to see if this couple is going to get their just desserts, because they deserve all the takedown. I hope them kids don't go to that wedding. I hope. But I think they are going to show up. You know why? It's good TV. See you next week. Oh, wait, not next week, because it's Christmas. Happy holidays. See you on the next episode. Bye. Love ya.